All right, guys, today we're going to um, work on this extend or this magical fill handle. So we're going to click here and it should download it for us. And so that should go to your downloads. So you're just going to open it here and then we're going to save it to your OneDrive. So go to File, Save As, double click your OneDrive, go to your Computers folder, and go up here and just name it like Magic. Just save it as Magic Fill Handle or whatever method you have of saving there. And then hit save. All right, the first thing we're going to do is go down here, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can see my whole sheet here as much as I have typed on it. You're going to use the big white plus sign to select a group of cells. So I use one hand when I do it. So I'm going to tell you to with whatever you want. So I'm going to press and hold with my pointer finger and then I drag with my middle finger, but it's up to you. Some people, a lot of you guys use two fingers or two hands. So you're going to press down and then drag so you select A1 through M1. And when you're working in Excel and you see something written down, it's going to look like, that would look like A1 colon M1. We're going to go up here and click Merge and Center, so that puts all of that into one cell and then centers the text. We're going to increase our font size to 28. Might need to make one just a hair bigger there. And we're going to fill it a light green. And we are going to change the font color to a darker green so you can see it. And we're good there. Okay, so for the first one, if you hover your mouse over A2 and click, first what you see is, you guys call those hashtags, it's a number sign. So what if you go up here to the formula bar, that's what this thing is called. Excel calls this the formula bar, and it puts these number signs when your number is too big to fit in the column. Because if this was like an amount in money and $6,000 or $600 looked like $60 or $6, that could be a big problem. So they cut it off. So the way to fix that is to hover your mouse up here where your column letters are. So columns are going to be identified by a letter and rows are going to be identified by a number. Each cell has a letter and a number with it. So this cell A2 is in column A, row 2. So you're going to hover your mouse to the right of column A. That's the column you're trying to adjust. And your cursor should now look like this. So you're going to double click. That's called auto fit. Okay, and you will have to continue to do this. So if the entries get bigger, you will have to continue to auto fit. It won't automatically make it bigger. Now, if your words are too big for an entry, such as Monday, Munda is not a real word, and that's pretty obvious that it's getting cut off. So you just go up here, same thing, hover your mouse to the right of the column that is too small, and double click. Again, you can manually adjust these columns if you want to, but that's called auto fit. It's just kind of an easier way. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is select A2, and we're going to put our cursor in A2. And what we want to do is we want to fill this down so it goes 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then it does AM, then to PM. So this guy right here, so I click in the cell that I want to essentially copy. This is called quick copy or autofill. And I'm going to hover my mouse in that lower right-hand corner to where I get this thin T. I'm going to click on that to say, hey, that's the cursor I want. And then just like we did up there with the magical fill handle for the top, we're going to drag to A16 and release. So it did all of the AMs and then it started going to PM once it hit noon. Now again, notice that some of these are getting cut off. So I'm going to go up here between A and B and auto fit, and that makes A big enough to see that. All right, So we're going to do the same thing with Monday. So it would give us all of the days of the week here. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag down. And just like that, it will continue to give you the days of the week. And if it cuts anything off, it will, you'll just have to go up here and double click. All right. So we just used the fill handle because I wanted to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If I wanted Monday to continue to say Monday, 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 I'm going to use that same cursor. Then I'm going to use my my opposite hand and I'm going to press and hold on Option. Sorry. So for those of you who have had my class before, when I press and hold on that and then I click on the Option key, do you see that little tiny plus sign that puts it in the upper right hand corner? Now when I drag down, it just says Monday every time. So it would do the same thing here with Mon. It would abbreviate and put 2, Wed, Third, Fri, Sat. So, and you can keep going down with that same thing. Now, we could do the same thing with the months, and you can auto-fit or autofill. Sorry, not to be confused with auto-fit. Auto-fit is what we did up here with the column widths. Autofill or use the fill handle to do multiple cells at the same time. So here I have selected January and Jan, and I'm going to click and drag down, and it does the both. It does the both of them for me. All right, I drug that just a little bit too far. Okay. And then I can just click and you can also, like if I get rid of these, you can also drag up. So you can go and it will continue that way. We could be doing this to the right and it would do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this way. Or I forget that you don't actually see me. Or you could do it to the left too and it would do the backwards thing. Okay, so it'll count for you, but if you want it to count for you, you have to select how you want it to count because it will count by 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever. So I'm going to select this 1 and 2, release my mouse. Then I'm going to put my cursor in the lower right hand corner and drag down and it will continue to count for me. Same thing here with version 1 and first year. I'm going to go ahead and select those two at the same time. So I press and hold in the middle of H2 and drag to I2 and release. Then I'm going to pick up my cursor, press it here, get that fill handle, and drag it down. Okay, so I often use this as an example in 6th grade. If you were in science class, and well, really it could be any grade, and you were doing a experiment and they wanted you to try something 10 times, you could type test 1, tab, test 2, and then you could select those two and then just fill across, and then you could, you know, enter your results for each of the 10 tests. So instead of having to type test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, blah, gets so frustrating, right? So like I said before, I'm going to move my screen over here so that it doesn't get in the way of the video. It will count however it is that you're telling it to count. It will also copy formatting. So we haven't done this yet, but so here they made this look like a percent, so they chose the percent style. Same thing, if I select these two and I bold them and change the font color and fill this out. When I'm going to select all these three just to be, just to save time here. So I'm going to put my cursor in the middle of J2 and drag to M3. So again, guys, it might be easier if you make your screen a little bit bigger so that you can click in the middle of these cells. Then hover your mouse in the lower right-hand corner of M3 and drag down. And again, it's copied the formatting for you. There's a couple different things. There's a couple other things I want to kind of go over is to notice if you are typing with words it puts it right, aligns it. So if you use these as to help you, it forms a line on the right with your text. But when you are typing numbers, what Excel does is it puts it on the left. It essentially left aligns. Or you can tell it to kind of align at the decimals. So with these, I'm going to go ahead and select these, not fill them. I used the big white plus sign to select them. If I wanted all of these numbers to have a decimal and to be aligned at the decimal, what I would do is I would go up here and click comma style. And so what that's going to give me is, and now see, it gave me number signs. So I'm going to go up here and double click. It gave me the first number and then it showed me 2 decimals. So if I had written like 1,000, it would do the 1 comma and then the decimal and 2 decimals. So it aligns the decimal. If I only want to see one of those decimals, I would decrease my decimal using this button. And now it just shows me 0.2 or 0.0. One other thing in Excel when you are trying to type, like let's say I'm trying to type 01 January or I don't know, April 13th of 2020. When I type that, it looks like that, but if I wanted it to look different, I could go up here and click short date, or I could choose the long date, so it would give me that 0 in front of that. Or if I wanted it to actually say April, whatever, I could go here to more number formats. And I could choose any of these dates as well. Now, sometimes what you want to do is you want to type something like, you want to say you got 5 out of 5. So you would say 05 out of 05. And so it keeps saying May 5th, and it's so frustrating. You're like, no, I just want to write 050/05. So what you have to do here, and I would recommend you do this before you do your typing. So, and I'll show you why that is here in a minute. So if you're going to do a whole like column of that or a whole row of that, select them first, even the blank ones, and go up here and say that you are trying to write either a number or text. So what it does is it gives you this random number. So then you go back and if you type 05/05, enter, it gives you 0505. But notice that it aligns it on the right, like if you're writing text. All right, we got to go over a couple more cursors here. All right, the move cursor. So we went over copy earlier. So that's when you get this little guy here and then you press and hold on the option key and then move it and that will copy it. But let's say I want to move this to J17. I'm going to move it around onto this green area. And sorry, you can actually, you don't have to get the move handle to cut and paste or to copy. You can also you get the move handle here as well. So it's the hand, and you just drag it, what I say, I-17 or J17, and you just release and it moves it there. To delete, guys, don't double click in a cell and hit backspace, backspace, or delete. Just if you're going to type something else, if you just click in a cell and type, it over types it. Something else you could do is if I wanted to add the rest of eat to delete, I could go up here and double click after the L and type ETE. And that would allow me to edit. I don't have to like retype what it is that I'm doing there. So hope that was a real quick review of all of the different cursors. Really the only thing that's different is this hand, or it looks a little different, but the hand is now the move handle or cut and paste. All right, good job.